Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Erica, and I make videos related to commentary. I talk about disability a lot. I do disability-friendly workouts. I basically just do whatever I feel like doing in the moment. But today, I will be talking about Elon Musk and some of the problems with him. So if you don't know, on Saturday, Elon Musk hosted the popular comedy skit show SNL Saturday Night Live, and that is when he came out as autistic. Well, the word he used was he has Asperger's, but as I'm going to get into later in this video, there are some problems with using the term Asperger's, and a lot of people in the autistic community find it offensive. I myself am not autistic. I am neurodivergent and physically disabled, but I am not autistic, so just be aware that I don't speak for the autistic community. I do my best to listen and to learn, but ultimately I don't have that lived experience, so I can only know so much about it. But so if you don't know who Elon Musk is, I believe he's the CEO of the luxury car company Tesla, and so he's a very, very, very rich man, and I think he might be from South Africa, but I might be wrong with that. But from what I've read, he's from South Africa, and he is the CEO of Tesla, and he created this technology called Neuralink, which many people consider to be ableist. I'm going to be clear right here, right now. I don't know a lot about neurology and the technology there, so it's a bit above my head, but from my understanding, Neuralink is this technology where they implant like a microchip into your brain, and it is supposed to help you, it's supposed to fix things in your brain, on their website, and I will link these sources down below, especially since I don't know a lot about it. I read about it, but I'm a writer, so I don't really understand neuroscience, but so on their website, it claims that it's going to cure spinal cord injuries and fix different disabilities, which is very controversial in the disabled community. You have two camps. The ones that really push for a cure, and then the ones that say I'm perfectly fine the way I am, and society is the one that needs to change, not me. And in case you haven't guessed yet, I'm much more aligned with the second camp. I would never want to be cured of my disability. Sure, certain medical issues I may have can be alleviated by certain medical technologies, but I would never want to be able-bodied. And even if I was, society is always going to find something to claim as a disability, because our society is ableist as fuck. So even if all of today's disabilities were cured, if somebody needed glasses or maybe if they just learn differently from other people, that might be considered a disability in the future. I'm not saying it will be. I can't predict the future, but my point is that disability is largely a social construct, and yes, it can also come with medical issues, but a lot of, at least speaking for myself, a lot of the problems I've faced have come from barriers put up by other people. And that's not just physical barriers, it's also social. Like, because our society has a preconceived idea of disability, I am often discriminated against, and that's just a fact. But anyway, Neuralink, a lot of people consider ableist and are scared that one day people may be forced to have that implanted in their brains. Now, I'm not saying that's true. I have no idea. I hope that never happens, but if it does, I would fight that like hell. And so the point of this video is really that this problematic figure, Elon Musk, is now saying, I'm autistic, and a lot of people feel that he's just doing that to be like, if you've seen my video on Gabby Hanna, I would liken him to Gabby Hanna, how Gabby uses her ADHD to avoid criticism, and anytime she's criticized, she's like, oh, well, I have ADHD, so it's not my fault. So, like, a lot of people, and I'm not saying this is true or not, a lot of people believe Elon Musk is saying this because he's been called out for very problematic behavior in the past. Number one, he has more money than anybody ever should, and from what I understand, he does not treat all of his employees very well. Number three, he's been ableist in the past. I can link some sources to that because it's above my head, but I'm trying to do the best that I can in this video, and I think I'm up to number 4 or 5, but he also has been considered transphobic in the past. If you don't know, he is in a partnership with the Canadian singer Grimes, and Grimes goes by they, them pronouns. So Elon Musk took to Twitter one day and wrote, pronouns are stupid, and then Grimes replied to Elon's tweet saying something like, I love you, but this is a very hurtful message, please call me. But Grimes has since deleted that tweet. I don't really know why they did that, but they did. And so people were saying that maybe Elon was being microaggressive towards Grimes. And even if it wasn't directed at Grimes, it's still a pretty shitty thing for a cis white man to be like, oh, pronouns are stupid. Because, like, yeah, for you, they might be, but for other people, it helps them feel themselves. Like, when you're gendered properly, the way you identify, from what I understand, and again, I am cisgender, so I'm not claiming to speak for the trans and non-binary community, but from what people have told me is when people use the pronouns that they identify with, it's a great feeling, and they feel like themselves, and they feel like they're being accepted for who they are. And I think that's always a great thing when people feel good about themselves and feel like they're being accepted. But apparently some people don't, Elon. But anyway, my point to this video is that just because somebody has a disabled identity doesn't mean we should hold them up as this disabled icon, because ultimately Elon has caused so much harm to the disabled community, and as I've said before, not just the disabled community, other marginalized communities as well. And he doesn't get to use his disability as a shield to avoid criticism. Being autistic is not an excuse to be ableist and to make people fear for their lives. Like, I'm kind of scared of Neuralink, and some people that I really look up to have like praised Neuralink, and that scares me, because then I'm like, those people don't accept me for who I am. They don't see me as a whole person. They see me as somebody who is broken and has to be fixed. And that's not the case. I am not broken. I am just disabled. It's one an aspect of who I am. It's not my entire identity, but it is a large part of it. So, and lastly, I forgot to add this little tidbit in, but Elon claimed to be the first openly autistic person who hosts SNL, which is not true, because Dan Aykroyd, who was one of the original cast members of SNL, he came back to host it in 2003, and Dan Aykroyd is also openly autistic. So for Elon to say that, he is very full of himself, and he thinks he's like this great advocate who's like breaking down barriers. And I'm like, bitch, no, you've been called out by the disabled community time and time again, and now is when you're like, oh, I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I'm autistic. So look at me breaking down all these barriers. Like, you're still a shitty person whether you're autistic or not. And this wasn't a very long video. It probably could have been longer, but as you might be able to tell, I don't really know what I'm talking about with these things because I don't have a background in neuroscience, so I'm kind of just going based on what other people have said and how I interpret it. So thank you so much for watching. If you would like to, please like and subscribe, and please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I really hope to see you again next time. Bye. Bye. Why is my remote not working? Bye.